The latest that we're bringing to you is that a 32-year-old man has been nabbed for allegedly stalking cricket legend Sachin's daughter. Mustafa Sheikh is still with us. Mustafa, just take us through that entire joint operation of how this man was nabbed after the complaint was lodged with the police by Sachin.
Yes, of course, Vedika, the case pertains to kidnapping calls and, sexually motivated calls from a person in West Bengal. The latest call, as the Bandra police claims, was received on 2nd of December, after which a complaint was filed at Bandra police station on 5th, and the call was traced to West Bengal, as Indra was also telling us that because the family has claimed that this person who has threatened to kidnap Sachin Tendulkar is of an unstable mind, and there have been previous such complaints from his relatives who have said that these kind of calls were made to them also. So at this point of time, the police will also investigate on his mental illness. But what we are getting to know from the Mumbai police is that after a transit remand is obtained, because the case is registered in Mumbai, and the allegations are serious in nature, given the security and well-being of the Tendulkar family, he will be brought to Mumbai and the further investigation will proceed. He was not a fan who was trying to meet Tendulkar, he was not a fan who was trying to get in touch, but the statement which he has made amounts to a criminal complaint. Hence a section of threatening and outraging women's modesty has been registered against this person, and the calls were received on the landline number of Tendulkar family in their Bandra house, Vedika.
Right, and Indra is back on the line with us. Indra, you were talking about this not being the first time that a complaint has been lodged against Devjumar Maiti, because the neighborhood had been complaining about him. Go ahead and tell us more about that.
Well, that's right. When we spoke to, some of the relatives, some of the neighbors of Devkumar Maiti, they have been telling us that, similar complaints had been made by his family members about his behavior. So these complaints may not necessarily be formal complaints lodged with the police, but they claim that, similar complaints had been made informally by his, family members, questioning the stability of his mind at this point in time. And when he spoke to the media persons there in East Midnapore, he was very categorical in accepting what he had done. There was no, confusion there. He claimed that he had seen Sachin Tendulkar's daughter on television during a match, sitting at a pavilion, and that's how he felt for her, and therefore he tried, fetching the number, the landline number of Sachin Tendulkar's residence through one of his relatives who work in Mumbai, and that's how he started making calls. And he categorically said that the calls were made about 20 times. What is the nature of the calls? He said that he wanted to propose Sachin Tendulkar's daughter using those phone calls. So clearly, the kind of statements that he's making out in the public, even after being arrested, does put some question mark on the mental health of this person.
And when do we see him being produced before the court, Indra?
Well, he's likely to be produced before the Haldia court later in the afternoon, and the Mumbai police, of course, will be seeking a transit remand for this person so that he can be flown back to Mumbai and then questioned further.
And that's where the Mumbai police will start the interrogation, Mustafa. What could we expect in the next few days?
Yes, of course. As we were saying that how this person obtained the number, the sources will be verified, because it is also a security threat to other people who are residing in Mumbai and residing elsewhere if the numbers are being accessed. And the question will also remain as to how he actually got in touch with Sachin Tendulkar, because he was calling on the landline. So it's likely that some of their managers at home or the staff would have picked up the call, how that call was passed on to Sachin Tendulkar. So there are a lot of things which need to be investigated in terms of the security which is concerned of the Tendulkar family, and hence this case was taken seriously. And once he is brought in here, the background of this person will be checked. I am sure his medical reports will also be checked to determine whether he is in his mental state or not, and then the further investigation will continue, Vedika.
Indra, it seems that it all hinges on the claims made by the family, whether the man in question, Maiti, is unstable mentally or not.
Well, absolutely. And Vedika, remember, every time, as far as the standard operating procedure is concerned, when any person is arrested, he will be subjected to some sort of medical scrutiny here as well. So there would be a medical scrutiny. He would be produced before the magistrate, and only then there would be a remand, a transit remand that would be issued by the court once he is produced before the magistrate. So yes, there is a case being made by the relatives about his mental illness, and therefore the police will have to probe his mental stability, his mental health, and at the same time, as Mustafa reported, a severe question mark on the security apparatus as far as Sachin Tendulkar's residence is concerned. How is it that it was easily accessible? The landline number was easily accessible to this person, and if somebody from West Bengal in East Midnapur district can have access to the residential number of Sachin Tendulkar, then anybody and everybody in this country will be able to do that. So it does throw
This is
open
really
a lot
emerging,
of
Indro
question
and
as far as
Mustafa, at this point is, how did this person in question, Devjuman Mehti, actually get access to the landline number of a famous cricketer? And the second being, is he mentally stable or not? We'll have to leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for joining us with all that information on that emerging